more stuff in our skies for
I
communication
know,
than ever
but,
before.
but
We
you
all
can't
have to be
say
more
this, but I
efficient.
can. You're getting pushback from defense and transportation. We've got a turf battle here. What can we do to sit down with DOD and transportation and the FCC and work this out? We are all for national defense.
Absolutely.
We're also for 5G. So what can we do to get this worked out?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Capital Insights. Today we're diving into an absolutely mind-blowing story of how one senator's intervention saved American taxpayers $81 billion. This is not just about money, it's about the future of 5G in America, national security, and a fascinating power struggle between government agencies. Before we get started, if you're interested in understanding how government decisions impact your technology and wallet, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Let me break down what C-band spectrum is and why it matters to you. Imagine prime beachfront property but for wireless communications. That's what C-band is. It's the perfect sweet spot for 5G technology. Back in 2018, something crazy almost happened. Foreign satellite companies nearly got the rights to sell this valuable American resource and pocket all the money. This is where it gets interesting. Senator John Kennedy, along with Senators Cantwell and Schatz, stepped in. They went straight to the president and said, "Hold up, we need to auction this properly." Their intervention led to competitive bidding, saving American taxpayers a whopping $81 billion. That's billion with a B, folks. But here's where we hit a snag. The FCC recently held auctions for this spectrum. Companies paid good money to win licenses, but there's a problem. The FCC's authority to actually give out these licenses expired in March 2023. Imagine buying a house, paying for it, but never getting the keys. That's basically what's happening right now. Now, you might think this would be an easy fix, right? Wrong.
You'll remember then in 2018, I certainly do. Not you, but some of your colleagues on the FCC decided they were going to give the C-band away. My words, not yours. At the time, that C-band, we didn't know how important it was. It was licensed to some foreign satellite companies.
That's right.
And we discovered how valuable that C-band was. And the 5G telecommunication companies, mostly American companies, were really anxious to get it. And some members of the FCC, and frankly some senators, came up with a proposal to give that C-band to the foreign satellite companies and let them sell it to the 5G companies and keep the money. And I didn't like that, and neither did Senator Cantwell, and neither did Senator Schatz. And we called the president and insisted that, and the president called the FCC and said, we need to bid this out. Do you remember all that?
I do, Senator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saved about $81 billion. Now, you've been auctioning the C-band out. You held an auction in September, did you not?
Yes,
Number 107, I think it's called.
I believe that's right.
Okay. The problem, we've got two problems here. Your authority to hold auctions has run out.
Yes.
And number two, more immediately, you conducted some auctions in September, awarded some licenses to the C-band based on auctions, highest bidder,
That's right.
took those companies' money, and then your authority ran out.
That's right.
And the FCC hadn't given them the license.
That's right.
Why can't you give them the license? They paid for it.
Oh, I agree with you. The situation's unfair. They paid for it. They deserve to have that license.
So why can't you give it to them?
So the Communications Act is very straightforward. It says our authority to grant licenses expired on March 9th of 2023. We got a lot of laws before us that are tortured and confusing, but this is a straightforward provision. It expired, and so we're going to need your help getting rid of that expiration.
What if we did two things? What if, number one, to solve the immediate problem, we passed a bill that said on a one-time, short-term basis, we're giving you, Madam Chair, and the FCC, the authority to go ahead and award those licenses that people have already paid for. That's the first bill. Second bill would be to renew your authority to hold auctions. Would you have any objection to us doing those two things?
Sure, I don't object to you trying to be specific about the licenses in your first bill, but I want to emphasize how much we do need that authority back.
All right. Tell me, I mean, this sounds very, very simple when we talk about it here. Tell me who's pushing back on reauthorizing your authority to hold auctions.
Well, that's happening in Congress. I certainly have uniform support among my colleagues at the FCC for getting auction authority.
Who's against it?
It's
I'm not asking personalities. I'm asking what interest groups are against it.
Well, you know, the way that we auction spectrum and have in the last several years, the C-band being an exception, is we frequently identify airwaves with federal users from the Department of Defense or the Department of Transportation. And we say perhaps they could do the same function with a little less spectrum. And then we identify a way to take some of that spectrum, repurpose it for new commercial use. And then with the revenues from our auctions, we make the Defense Department or the Department of Transportation whole by giving them funds from the auction.
So you're getting pushback from the Defense Department and the Department of Transportation.
Well, those are the two largest federal authorities with airwaves below 6 gigahertz. So I focused on them here. But the reality is we are putting more stuff in our skies for communication than ever before.
But you can't say this, but I can. You're getting pushback from Defense and Transportation. We've got a turf battle here. What can we do to sit down with DOD and Transportation and the FCC and work this out? We are all for national defense.
Absolutely.
We're also for 5G. So what can we do to get this worked out?
Well, I could offer the services of my office and my whole agency to assist you, because I want to make clear that when our commercial wireless economy grows, technology expands, and the U.S. does better. That's true.
Well, if our chairman called a meeting
board.
and tried to get everybody together, would you come to it?
I would.
And would you bring your colleagues from the
would.
FCC?
Absolutely.
Okay, we need to get this battle worked out.
I agree with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Kennedy, before I turn it over to Senator Manchin, I say amen to everything you said, both in terms of making.
There's actually a fascinating turf war going on between the FCC, Department of Defense, and Department of Transportation. These agencies control huge portions of the spectrum and receive funding when their spectrum gets repurposed. It's like a high-stakes game of government monopoly. The good news is that solutions are being proposed, and all parties seem willing to come to the table. Senator Kennedy has suggested two fixes: a one-time authorization for pending licenses and renewal of auction authority. The FCC chairperson is on board, and a meeting with all stakeholders is in the works. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Capital Insights for more content that breaks down complex tech policy into simple terms. What do you think about this situation? Let me know in the comments below.